long, but I guess the thing that impressed me most about him was just how much of a regular guy he is. I mean, just like most of us are just regular, normal people. Ed first got involved with this UFO phenomena when he was a young man. Like many of us, he saw some stuff, and he knew we were not alone, and so he was hooked. Now, at some point, not really too long ago, Ed became aware of night vision goggles. Yeah, enhanced ability to see in the dark. And he thought about it. And as far as I know, he's the only one that really thought about trying to put this technology to work to possibly see what was in the night skies. And guys, the rest is history. Because Ed can go out almost any place on the planet, almost any night, anywhere that there are clear skies, and he can show you UFO activity. It's almost Grand Central Station up there, okay? That's how much activity and coming and going there is really up there. Guys, we're in for a treat. Please welcome Ed Grimsley.
Is my speaker working? Ooh, it's working. How you do? I'm Ed Grimsley. I'm just regular old Ed, and some people call me Special Ed, but but anyway, about 10 years old, I was hiking on Mount San Helena in the Napa Valley area near my home in Calistoga, and we used to hike and hunt and fish, and I grew up in the woods, and that's why I kind of look like a bear. But it's amazing when you go out someplace and you don't expect to see something, and you're looking out, and somebody says, a flying saucer, and you turn and you look, and you're 10, 11 years old, and here comes a giant saucer, and it pulls up, and it's off the tip of the mountain about 200 yards away, and it just pulls up and sits there, and you're holding still and you're looking at it. And my father's saying, don't move, it's a UFO. And I says, I know. And then another one pulls up and comes in behind it, and it stops, and they're both just sitting there. And I'm, kind of stupid as a kid, haven't grown out of it all, but in turn, I put my hand up, and I took my hand like this, and my dad said, hold still. I says, they know we're here. And I went like this, real slow. I didn't want to get shot for thinking I had a weapon, When I looked and did that, my dad says, hold still, damn it. And the front one that came up first, it just sat there, and the other one that it came up, when I waved and did that, it went like this. And my dad says, I'll be damned. And then a split second later, the first one went, gone. The other one steadied for a second, gone. And my dad looked at me, and I looked back at him. He says, are you going to tell people about this? And I looked at him, and at 11 or 10, I said, only those people who will listen. And my dad says, I don't know if we should talk about it. They're going to think you're crazy. And I says, that's okay. Well, I told a few people, got laughed at, got ignored. They thought, oh, Ed's, one of those special kids that needs help. So I went on, and I always knew they were there, but what they were doing, who they were, are they part of the God system? Are they part of what created the earth, or controlling the earth? Are they exploring the earth? Did they bring us here to start with and checking us out to see if we're being good? I don't know. But when I was 16 years old, I was at a hunting camp. And we were getting the camp ready for deer season. And it was a Thursday night, and deer season would start Saturday morning. So some of our hunting party were there. I stretched out, was laying in my sleeping bag, and I looked up and I said, whoa, those stars are moving. Looking up, and these things look like crystally diamonds because the sky, we were about 7,500 feet elevation where we were hunting, and the sky was crystal clear, and everything that was up there you could see. These craft were coming together on head-on runs like this, 2 and 3, flying through each other, firing as they got near each other, blowing each other up and passing on by and firing out the back at each other. And I'm going, oh my God, I'm not dreaming this, you know? And I started yelling to everybody in the camp and everything. I yelled, Dad, get out here. There's a bunch of spacecraft overhead and they're fighting with each other. My dad says, shut up and go back to sleep, you're dreaming. And I said, no, Dad. So he crawls out the tent and he rolls up onto his back and he looks and he goes, holy crap. He said, that's for real. And so I yelled to the campsite that was next to us. And the campsite next to us was yelling back. And then pretty soon they were yelling to people. And this whole camp area of deer hunters that we had known over the years, they would come back and camp in the same area. And they're laying out there on their backs in the middle of the campground at 9 o'clock at night watching spacecraft. And there was numbers and numbers and numbers of them. And maybe if is that louder? Okay. I guess I should talk more to this side. So, anyway, these craft were literally flying in an air battle, like as if it was a Star Wars movie that hadn't been thought of yet. And you would see 2 or 3 coming from one direction and one with another group, and one get blown up and the other one break and try to get away, and they'd go chasing him and firing on him, and he'd be firing back. And after about an hour and a half, my dad says, well, I'm going back to bed. And I go, what? You can't go back to bed. Oh, the Armageddon battle or whatever's going on. He says, no. He says, I don't know who they are. I don't know what they're fighting about. And my .270 deer rifle won't reach them. And he says, you have to get up and go to Reno with me tomorrow to get groceries and supplies, so I'll be taking you with me. I go, okay. So I stayed up that whole night, and I started being really intelligent, and I started counting how many I saw blow up, and boom, and they're gone. And that night, from 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, until about 5:36 in the morning, when the first light came up and it got too bright to see, I counted over 45 craft get blown up and explode, probably 150, 200 miles above Earth. And to me, it was an experience like at 16 years old, what is going on?